Well, it stinks.
Everything is ready, my darling. Do not be afraid. Soon we'll be together again.
This sandwich tastes as dry as hell.
Hello and welcome to Hello, This is the Doom Show. I am Richard. Folks, in the news lately, I've been hearing about these pod people, and so I decided to talk to one of them. So in the studio is my favorite extraterrestrial visitor, Jeffrey.
I'm Trumpy.
No, I can assure you, you are not associated with Trumpy. Rename that character, man. Take him back.
Too soon.
We'll call him ETD.
E.T.
Wait. ETD.
Trump home.
So before we dive into the meat of these potatoes called extraterrestrial visitors from 1983, I have a very important question. Jeffrey, do you have a favorite Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode?
Yeah, it's called Pod People.
Oh, is that really your favorite?
It's up there. I also really like I Accused My Parents. That's a great one.
Ooh, I'll have to see that one.
What else? Varwolf is really good. Varwolf. And of course, like The Final Sacrifice, Rousdower.
Ooh,
oh, yeah.
Nice. The reason I ask is because I missed this infamous episode
Oh, boy.
of MST3K. I watched a lot of it at my sister's house because my sister lived in Georgia, where we lived in Florida. And before we got Comedy Central, or whatever Comedy Central was called at the time, I could only watch this show when I was visiting my parents. I'm visiting my sister, and never saw this show outside of that. So whatever Comedy Central ran all the time are my favorite episodes there. One episode in particular, which I'll talk about momentarily because I can't resist. But I never saw Pod People. And as I was watching recently episodes I'd never seen before of the show, I found out about the Pod People episode and the whole "it stinks" thing and how that became part of their lexicon there. And I was like, whoa, dude who directed Pieces did that?
You bet.
I'm out. I gotta wait till I could see the movie. And I kept holding off on the shitty VHS download for a long time. And so I've waited years to see this.
So you haven't seen the MST3K version?
I have intentionally not seen it. I'm going to watch it soon now that we're covering.
You definitely should. It is a classic. The voice that they do for Trumpy is really good.
Nice.
He sounds a bit like this.
Perfect. But no, my favorite Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode is Side Hackers.
Oh, yeah.
I see. The thing is with me now as a horror movie like collector and all this jazz of like cult film fun that I like to have, I don't want to watch a movie that I would watch on my own. So as a Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode. So I would never watch Side Hackers.
Sure.
I would never sit down and watch their shorts where they watch the 50s hygiene films that teach you how to be a human, or teach you how to socialize, how to ask Judy to the dance. Like I would never I might possibly throw those on, but chances are no.
My favorite is the one about the importance of springs. No springs.
So yeah, that kind of stuff I definitely like. But when it comes to anything related to Spanish horror, Italian horror, anything like that, I'm gonna wait until after I've seen the actual movie.
Right.
And then I'll watch the MST3K.
See,
I
totally agree with that perspective. On this particular film, I've seen the MST3K pod people like 100 times, and this is the first time I've ever seen extraterrestrial visitors, and it's a totally different experience.
I'm not surprised they had to cut a bunch of it.
They did, yeah, and I think that I think we're both watching the Severin Blu-ray, the recently somewhat recently released one, and. Apparently, it's a slightly different cut. It's longer. It feels longer. Not necessarily bad.
I'll agree with you there.
Not necessarily a bad way. And there's some important differences. If you've never seen the MST3K one, I'll blow your mind with something that's coming up later, unless you happen to see it when you were cruising Wikipedia on this one. There's some interesting info about the alternate pod people version.
Wow.
But yeah, so this is very strange for me, but very much appreciated.
I'm glad. This is exciting. This is a moment.
It's a moment.
Yeah. So anyway, Extraterrestrial Visitors from 1983. Sadly, there is no freaking trailer for this. They did not want people to see what they're getting into because this was released as E.T. The Return, a bunch of other things, which we'll talk about some trivia later about how this went from being a straight-up alien horror movie to the friendlier side of whatever baffling shit this movie is.
Yeah.
But instead of a trailer, I'm going to go ahead and play a product that is featured in the film, not the one you're thinking. I'm going to play a little commercial here for something at the breakfast table.
Gee, Tony, this place looks haunted.
That'll help scare away anybody who tries to steal the secret formula for Kellogg's Sugar Frosted Flakes cereal.
Steal it?
Well, after all, the formula makes Frosted Flakes a delicious part of this nutritious breakfast.
The secret taste of Frosted Flakes makes Tony say,
They're great!
Tony, he almost stole the formula.
I'd say he didn't have a ghost of a chance.
There you go. That's all you need to know about this movie. Is
Don't you want to see pod people now?
this Halloween themed Frosted Flakes commercial I found.
So we should talk a little bit about our director, right?
Yeah. I believe it's Juan Piquer Simón. That accent mark throws me right off.
Yeah, me too. Well, we know this guy. We've covered him before. Satan's Blood from 1978 is one of his early films. And oh boy, did we love that one.
That's a great, great, great film. Oh my God.
Have you seen any of his other late 70s, early 80s films like Supersonic Man, Mystery on Monster Island, Los Diablos del Mar?
I have not. I've seen this, and I've seen Pieces and Slugs, and of course, everyone's favorite, The Mansion of Cthulhu.
Mm-hmm. I've seen that as well. I've seen The Rift from 1990. My letterbox tells me I've seen it. I don't remember it.
Well, it was like one of those undersea monster movies, and they all came out around the same 2 or 3 year period.
Like 88 to 90, and yeah, I've seen all of them, and they're all the same. This one has Ray Wise in it.
Oh yeah, is this Leviathan? Yeah, Ray Wise in that trailer blows my mind every time. I feel like I'm hallucinating.
Do you love Slugs? Because I love Slugs.
I don't. I love the movie because it's crazy. They hurt some slugs in the movie, and it made me sad. I felt it. Now, granted, most of the slugs are fake, but there was a moment where I was like, that's not how you treat slugs. Come on. I'm getting such a light touch. Like, this movie, I was watching him play with that kitten so close. I'm like, little boy, be careful with that kitten.
Yeah, I heard in Slugs that for the most part, they just simply put slug costumes on dachshund puppies. But they did hurt the dachshund puppies. So,
oh, no.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So the wildest thing here is that this movie, Extraterrestrial Visitors, was made the year after Pieces.
Folks, I was going to save this trivia for the end, but I couldn't resist. I did a common cast and crew comparison. 23 people, actors, lighting directors, camera people, everyone worked on Pieces and everyone worked on Extraterrestrial Visitors. And that's one of the reasons why one of the main reasons I refused to watch the MST3K is because I needed to see this dude's follow-up to Pieces.
Yeah.
Needed to see it in in the way it was meant to be seen, if that's possible.
And you would agree with me that there's almost no similarities between them. They feel like the products of entirely different minds.
Just the cast and the kid's room.
Yeah.
The little kid's room is the same room that the dude slaughters his mom in.
Wow, I didn't realize that,
pieces.
but that makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Ooh.
Same set.
Maybe it's just like the Dick Randall touch on pieces because something's different.
Good old Dick Randall. I can't get a Randall on him. So I found several VHS covers, 2 VHS covers, and 1 poster for Pod People. It was, of course, on this poster, it's trying to get some investors to some distributors to pick up the movie, and it says extraterrestrial visitors and has art that has nothing to do with the film at all. It's a silhouette of a spacey looking man with stars and a moon and all this stuff, and it says, "Men were not ready to meet these extraterrestrial visitors. Now shooting, ready September 1983.
I thought you were going to say, "Men, we're not ready to meet them."
No, they were specifically not. I couldn't handle it. I don't want stars on my head. So the VHS tape I have here is the short plot synopsis. It's a little movie called The Unearthling, which is one of this movie's many titles.
I didn't know that one.
And this sums the movie up as quickly as possible. It says, a spaceship comes to Earth, leaving in its path unhatched eggs containing extraterrestrials. One of the eggs is discovered by a young boy who takes it home. Soon the extraterrestrial is born and strange things begin to happen. What is its mission? Exclamation point. Question mark, question mark, question mark, ...
We never really find out the mission, do we?
No.
They're just here.
The mission is get killed by poachers. And then the tagline in the front is an extraterrestrial from the Forbidden Zone.
No. The Big Dipper is the Forbidden Zone?
Orion's Belt? So the British VHS is the Extraterrestrial Visitors one, and it has my favorite quote on the back. It's from a uncredited reviewer, maybe. It literally says in big pink letters, evil, addictive, powerful, electrifying. And that's in scare quots, and then nothing.
I can't believe they stole my quote. They didn't even credit me.
From nessoontomorrow.blogspot. Yeah. And it says, the fate of the Earth is in their hands. But it's so good. It says at the top in beautiful, beautiful font that this movie's a futuristic thriller.
The fate of a container of peanuts is in their hands.
The vacuum cleaner of peanuts. Fuck that. I hate that part. Oh, let's talk about it. So, folks, we're going to jump into this movie. It literally doesn't matter if you've watched it before. Jeffrey, I'm guessing you recommend the MST3K version.
I recommend both versions. Watch them back to back.
I recommend this version so you could see what's happening because, man, I dodged a bullet with that VHS tape because the fog, it's thick, dark fog for this movie. It's wild. You're not going to be able to see shit.
Full disclosure, though, you can barely see it on the Blu-ray still.
4K, why not? Oh, man. So the movie opens with space, and then a star or something pulses and then explodes. Wow. Well, it explodes into a million tiny synthesizers, but also drum machine.
It looks like it's not the Big Bang, it's a big spaghetti bomb. It looks very bad for an explosion.
This music is some toe tapping stuff here. This is Librado Pastor.
He's credited as Libra Pastor here.
Yes.
Which is funny because he's a Sagittarius atheist.
Oh my God. But he did the music for Good Old Pieces and he did Satan's Blood. Is he one of the Cam people or something? I don't know if he's associated with them or not. I love the music in this movie. Even the crazy shit we're going to talk about later is completely awesome.
The circus theme?
Yes. So an asteroid flies past the moon, and the moon changes from like something that we would recognize as the moon. Then it turns into the weird planet with the green astroturf moon. It just turns brilliant green for a second, which I don't think they intended, but it happened. We got 3 hunters, correct that, 3 poachers. Now, the way they shot this opening sequence with the asteroid flying so close to the moon, is this Earth? Are these 3 poachers on the moon? I don't understand.
I wish.
They're bickering about sweet FA in a foggy forest. I had to turn the subtitles on because I'm like, what is he saying? Oh, sweet FA about sweet FA. And I'm like, oh. Sweet fa la la.
Fa la 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 la. So they're trying to like make their fortune by stealing nightingale eggs. Is that a thing?
Dude, my job, we have been digitizing like 1,000 hours of bird watchers talking at their meetings. We've been talking to like ornithologists from all over the country. I have scanned 1 billion pictures of birds, rare breeds. Never heard of this. Never heard of this shit ever. It's weird.
Well, apparently, for this brief moment in time in the early 80s, if you had a couple nightingale eggs, you could pay your rent for a while.
People were using them to snort cocaine off of.
I was really hoping, like, when they find the nightingale eggs and they're like, wow, we hit the gold mine, that one of them would just, like, pop one in his mouth.
The Cadbury style. Man, he likes that shit raw. I love it. So there's strange lights and lightning going off in the sky. And randomly, one of them says Heil Hitler to the other.
The direct quote is, it's kind of like muttered too. Geez, Heil Hitler.
We don't condone that, but it was fucking weird. Meanwhile, a kid, our hero, Tommy, is awakened by his kitten meowing. And this kitten steals the movie. Oh my God, I love this kitten so much.
He's bold. Here he's trying to very actively eat a hamster.
I'm innocent. Just turn these cameras off. So Tommy looks through his telescope at the lights in the sky, and then something just explodes on the forest floor when it crashes. Meanwhile, the poachers are bemoaning the fact that their pal Bill is now like with the Rangers. Like Bill is a sellout. He doesn't want to help them poach anymore.
He's with the Rangers now.
Man, we all have to join the Rangers. It's part of our active service as Americans or Spanish people. And now there's a glowing crater in the earth and or cave system. So this red light is glowing. And there's like slime coming off of it and dirt. It's really crusty looking. And then just eggs just like fall out. Like gross looking eggs. And I immediately wrote in my notes, oh no, is this Luigi Cozy? Is this contamination? Which I want to say cozy and Kotzi at the same time, so it comes out really weird. So I apologize to our pal Luigi.
But he's very cozy, so we prefer cozy.
He's a cozy sweater.
This whole sequence here at the beginning and then once again at the end where we're in the woods, we have tons of blue fog, like impenetrable blue fog. Here we have like slime too from the eggs. It gives me like a very X-Files, Pacific Northwest, Canadian vibe.
Yes.
That I just love.
But it's as hard to see as frickin' Conquest by Fulci in some parts.
Yes.
Wow. Maybe he consulted on this one. So one of the poachers is a bespectacled gentleman named Sam. And he finds that crater, and boy, he never hesitates, just runs right into it. And that's when it just magically turns into a long cave. And he finds an egg, and he lifts it up over his head, and he smashes it. And inside I wrote, it's got, ew, a baby snooty. Or, excuse me, baby snouty. It might be snooty. It'll never grow up because he killed it. And then he gets upset, and he starts smashing all the eggs because obviously a poacher who steals rare eggs would immediately not see the value of alien eggs.
You know, it's just one of those days when you want to break shit, as Limp Bizkit says. Yeah, he plays a solo game of whack an egg, but he doesn't get all the way there because he gets got before the final egg is squished.
Yeah, he gets killed by an unknown assailant.
Oh.
I would start a Limp Bizkit cover band, but I'd be Plump Bizkit. That's what I would do. So yes, he gets killed off camera, and then, but he took the truck to go see this shit happening, and so our other poachers, which are frickin' Matt and Kurt or something, they are like, what the hell? Where's Sam? And they start hunting deer randomly, but they fail, which is good. Oh, it's Bert, not Kurt. They fail because the animals are spooked by this meteorite crashing. Good for them. Next thing you know, a lot of jarring cuts in this movie. We go to breakfast, where Tommy and his Uncle Bill.
Yeah, what's this family situation? We got Tommy, his mom, and then Uncle Bill. Is Uncle Bill really the uncle? Is Uncle Bill?
Is this Hamlet? I don't know.
Yeah. You know what it is actually.
So they're arguing over frickin' centipedes because our Tommy likes to collect bugs.
To me, it's a centipede. It's always been a centipede.
I will die on this hill. I will die on this hill. I don't understand pronouns. Oh. Uncle Bill needs to get with the times, man. But there's a nice big box of Frosted Flakes, which is why I played the Frosted Flakes commercial. And now we cut jarringly to the recording studio. Oh, we get a radical song here. We got Radical, the first of our songs.
So of course the MST3K episode has a great deal of fun with this song, largely because the lyrics are basically unintelligible. And like I know what the chorus of the song is, but all of the verses I have no idea.
Yeah.
This is what I wrote down for like the first couple lines. It's like with a pickle in my eye and a virgin by my side.
I'll accept that.
Could be. I don't know.
Is this When the Engines Roll song?
Yes.
Man, this is brilliant stuff.
Hear the engines roll now.
Like, the fact that this movie didn't take place at this studio the whole movie is kind of one of the problems I have with this movie, is that, like, it's, oh my God, it's just so funny.
They had to clear out so the band from Paganini Horror could come in and cut their track.
Yes, they don't stink. They smell sweet. So we cut back to the forest where Matt and Bert are watching some rangers. And before we can process what's going on there, we cut back again to the studio to hear more of the song. And the singer of this sexy jam here, I can't tell if he's singing through his nose or through his nasal cavity in his forehead. Oh my God, it's not good. we get the famous "It stinks" line, which, man, it's one of those moments I was building up for Lietta so big, and I'm like, there it was, and she's like, okay,
yeah,
all right. Yeah,
I know I've referenced it several times on this podcast.
yeah, we were doing the "It Stinks" thing for something. I forget. Some other. It could have even been the frickin' Satan's Blood episode. I don't know.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, it's possible.
Something I noticed during this recording session is that Sharon, who's I guess sort of, what's the main guy's name? Is it
Rick?
Like Rick? Yeah. Like Rick's, I guess, steadier girlfriend, because he's got like a couple girlfriends, it seems. She's one of the backup singers. She's like kind of going cross-eyed when she's singing.
I noticed that too, man.
It's subtle, but it's there.
She's gonna hurt herself.
And he like really negs her afterwards when he says, this is a great line. He says, "You were really off. You were blasting out like a foghorn."
Rude. Oh my God. Yes, it's so great. And he's blaming them for the shitty song. He's like blaming them for being off and all this crap. And I'm like,
you
man,
wrote
you
it, buddy.
suck.
We do have to
You
mention
suck.
the producer or audio engineer or manager or somebody who's wearing the "I'm a Virgin" T-shirt,
Yes.
which you can buy from Severn Films.
God, I'm a virgin. No, was it say I'm a virgin Islander? Like in real small letters, this is Islander. So cute, which is just brilliant. So one of the engineers tries to flirt with Tracy. Tracy's my favorite character in this frickin' movie. Sadly, she was not also in Pieces, but we forgive her for that. But yeah, she's like, just is not into it. She's not into it. Doesn't want it. So this musical gang they're getting together, getting an RV. They're going to go to something called Sender National Park, which I'm going to look this up. Is this a real place?
I don't know.
Nope.
Okay. Maybe it's a reference to the alien movie The Sender.
Oh,
Is that
man,
even an alien movie? I
No,
can't
that's
remember what
Psychic
that
Powers.
is. Psychic Powers.
That's a
well,
great movie.
you know what? We do have some telekinesis in this film,
We
don't
absolutely do. Man, I want to rewatch this Sender. Man, that's good shit right there. They're going to Sender, and they're armed with some groceries, and they get the best surprise of all, a Laura Stapleton. I love a character that introduces themselves so boldly that you don't remember anything about them, but they're just, hi, I'm Laura Stapleton.
I'm ready to die.
And everyone else is ready for her to die. So she met Rick, and he obviously had some kind of a fling with her, serious or not, who knows. But Sharon is pissed, and our buddy Brian is gonna talk her down. He was one of the guys who was helping out at the studio, and I guess he's like the band manager, maybe.
Sure.
So now they're driving down to another weird freaking song, the Sarah song. Oh my God, this song, it's not as good as the Engine Roll song, but man, it is distinct. Like, it's almost like the Shake Your Baby song from Bloody Moon. From Bloody Moon.
I no joke. I mean, ever since our episode covering that, I just randomly start singing "Shake Your Baby" weekly.
Oh, and leave it to Simon. Anytime Simon has any time off coming up, he posts that Holiday Feeling song from that movie every time, man. It's so good.
What should I do? It's getting late. I'm feeling blue. Why can't I think it's only one of the jokes?
So Rick, sensing the tension, reading the room, he decides to play it cool with Laura. No, he fucking sits next to her in the front seat and makes googly eyes like he's this excited little boy to be with this girl. It's so awesome. Cut back to Tommy. He's going to go into the crater/cave. He grabs the last egg, and right before he leaves, he sees Sam with the most original thing in this movie, the most original idea. So whenever someone gets killed by one of these aliens, they get a constellation branded on their head. So they have this constellation. It's like 6 or 7 stars going across their head, and they're reflective, so they're using a little light. But they're also making the dead person's eyes glow, which I really think is cool. Do you think they were going to come back as zombies later?
I mean, there must be something that they abandoned because it amounts to nothing, but it is cool.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like a calling card.
E.T. the didn't return. Rick and Laura, when they get to the campsite, Rick and Laura Stapleton, they're getting firewood after she's like, I don't think anyone here likes me. It's like, bitch, come on.
I heard it was a great weather for a picnic. I read it in my horoscope.
You need to get your money back on that one. That did not come true.
I'm a Libra pastor. And I read it in my horoscope.
Nice. So back at Camp Sharon, back at Camp, Sharon. I wish it was Camp Sharon. I dubbed
Camp Sharon.
Camp Sharon. Sharon is very tense, and Laura's just babbling about her mom's cooking, and they're making fun of her because she's talking about how well her mother prepares meat. And then she gets a face.
Don't insult your mother like that.
She basically tells Sharon, like, hey, whatever, all's fair in love and war, but not as smart as that. And Sharon just throws her water in her face, and she storms off.
What is this? You guys laughing at me all the time.
You're very funny.
Oh, yeah, sure. I know that you hate me. You're jealous, aren't you? Because Ricky likes me. Well, that's the way the cookie crumbles, honey. Tell her what we did in the woods, Ricky. She'd love to know, right, Sharon?
She runs into the poachers, and Laura Stapleton, sadly, is half molested by the beardo of the trio of poachers, Matt. And
family-friendly film, everybody.
Yes, this is E.T. 2. This is going to be a horror movie, but the producers said, hold on. So she gets away from her would-be assaulters, and his pal Bert is the no-nonsense guy. He was one of the detectives in Pieces, and he's basically the same guy, but in a like hunter's outfit. Mm-hmm. And she runs away from them and just runs right off a cliff because she's scared by a Yeti. Now, we still haven't quite seen the alien yet. All you see is its fur,
right?
Which I love this alien design. For some reason, it reminds me of what is that really, really boring horror movie where it takes place in a science fiction movie from the 50s or early 60s? It takes place mostly in a cave where the monster is a big gorilla costume with a TV set head. I'm sure MST3K.
Do you mean Robot Monster, the gorilla in the like scuba suit? Or
yeah, Robot Monster.
Yeah,
that's it. I was imagining a TV on his head because of the antenna.
Yeah.
So it could be that until we see further evidence. But she, poor thing, she runs right off a cliff and into a ravine.
You know, she really committed to running, and she ran too good.
Man, Brian and Rick, who have gone to look for Laura Stapleton, rescue Laura Stapleton, and take Laura Stapleton back to camp. And they have to get her to Black Butte. Apparently, Black Butte is where she will get some medical attention.
Well, thank goodness, because they're just trying to like revive her with booze.
Yes,
it's not good. They're not qualified to help this person with traumatic bodily injuries.
There is no city that I can find or town called Black Butte. So I'm really. I can't get my GPS set to this shit, or no wonder we're all lost.
I think they were trying to bring her to Black Beauty the horse, and just like they were gonna lay her body in front of the horse and be like, "Horse, figure it out, help her."
So we got more Tommy and his egg fun. It has a pulse, and my favorite moment with kid logic, where this kid tries to gaslight his mom, where his mom, named Molly, she comes running in because she hears a ruckus going on in his room with this egg bullshit. She's like, what's going on? He's like, Kitty woke me up because Kitty is hungry. And she's like, that kitty's been eating all day. And he's like, yeah, I definitely shouldn't feed her again. I'm like, Tommy.
Your kitten already ate its hamster.
No more than 2 hamsters a day for a growing kitten. Yeah, I love when kids try to do psychology on their parents. I witnessed this so many times with my friends who have kids, where their kids, they're talking, they're running around, and they try this really like above their pay grade psychology, and no one buys it. No one's gonna buy it. It's so cute. He goes to bed with the egg next to him to keep it warm, and I wrote in my notes, "Aww." And then I noticed his Boston Bruins jersey, his flag for the Boston Bruins, and I said, "Aw, that's meaningless to me." So they finally get to Bill and Molly's house, Uncle Bill and Molly's house. And man, Bill is decidedly against helping people. His former poacher ways have made him a bitter, bitter man.
To me, that man is a centipede.
It's a centipede. It's a centipede. It's just like on his deathbed, blood pouring out of his nostrils and mouth. Centipede. Poor guy. Ugh. So they go inside. Molly's the kinder of the two. She lets them inside. And we find out the phone doesn't work because of a quote-unquote rock fall. Which I'm like, okay. I wrote in my notes that the interiors of this house are definitely not in Spain. Absolutely. The portrait of George Washington on the wall.
Oh my God, that's my
clinches
favorite
it.
detail. Yeah.
My second favorite detail about this house will come up later. It's very important to me. So Tommy's egg hatches, and it's disgusting. And I wrote in my notes, hey, little kids, they slime the bed all the time, so you just got to teach them.
The design for Trumpy is beautiful. Described as an unholy mix between a pig and a bear.
What?
But really, what it looks like is like somebody like, okay. So have you ever watched Survivor before?
The TV show?
The TV show, yeah, the reality game show.
No, I never watched it.
All right. Well, so like, they're spending like 40 some odd days on an island with like only rice to eat, very little food. Everybody loses like a substantial amount of weight generally.
Right.
And so, you see like the before and after they've gone through the experience. I feel like that's what's happened here to Elf. Elf went on Survivor and he turned into Trumpy.
Oh my God. Oh, I love that it looks like an orangutan with an elephant head or something. Just so cute, so adorable. So meanwhile, poachers, Matt and Bert, they have their own close encounter where they do the titular, it's not titular or anything. It looks like a cross between a pig and a bear, just like you said. They try to capture it, but they are not success. And I didn't have room for the full, so I just wrote they are not success. And now we go back to Tommy and his alien baby. He's giving him milk. And I don't know why the milk scene made me do a sad face. I did a sad face. But then the kitten is also having some milk. And the kitten has a little milk on his chin. And next to that, I wrote a little happy face. I like that.
Yeah, Trumpy is disgusting. Trumpy slurps a lot of things. Sometimes gross. Vacuums things up. He's a real, as Tommy says, greedy Trumpy. You know what playing is?
Oh my God. No. So yeah, how would you rank Trumpy in terms of like hideousness compared to like Mac and Me or Nuki or what any of these other E.T. wannabe guys?
I mean, as disgusting as he is, he's by far the cutest. Mac and Me is disgusting, horrifying. Nuki's been on a few seasons of Survivor in a row. Hate them. They're so gross. Trumpy is like pretty hot by comparison.
He's a fashion model. Yeah. So the next morning, Trumpy is now child-sized, which is great. The growth rate of this thing. By the end of the movie, he should have been Godzilla-sized. That would have been great.
Oh my God, if only.
If only they could have afforded it.
Yeah.
There's a moment when Tommy is trying to process how big Trumpy got overnight, and this little actor's head, like his eyes look like it's going to pop out of his head. Oh my God, this kid's so funny. That I'll try to get a screenshot of that for the artwork because man, woo, man. Ugh, we cut right to dead Laura. So apparently, Laura died and everyone's like traumatized. But I wrote in my notes, well, we hated her.
I like that they tried to help her out by well, we're not going to seek medical attention. We're just going to let Laura sleep it off.
Which is what you do anytime someone's injured. Let them nap.
And she slept too well.
Yep. Trumpy has an encounter with animals, which is good. He doesn't eat he doesn't eat the kitten or anything.
What if he did, though?
Oh, man, this movie would be very different. But he has an encounter with a toy robot that's bad. He doesn't like toy robots at all.
My favorite thing about the kitten and robot scene. All right, so when he's so I guess Tommy has a lot of different animals, right? He's got most of them in terrariums, cages and such, the hamsters and other stuff. Trumpy is like examining them all and like walking alongside a table, and the kitten's following him and tearing at his nose the whole time. He's like biting it, trying to rip the nose off. Like, I don't know if they like put catnip on the nose or it's just like that nose, whatever materials were made to produce it are just a normal cat attractant.
Hey, if it's anything like my cats, it's just a cigar. They just rubbed a cigar on it. 'Cause my cats love the smell of a cigar.
That makes perfect sense. Trumpy's nose is just a big cigar.
There you go. Hey, sometimes a cigar is just Trumpy's nose. So Tommy feeds Trumpy some peanuts. We get some nice Planters peanuts commercials here. Just sucking it up like a vacuum cleaner. It's totally crazy. Made even crazier by Trumpy's constant grunting, which he just grunts this whole fucking movie. Oh my God. Tommy shows Trumpy how puzzles work. And I wrote in my notes, puzzle pieces.
Oh my God! What if Trumpy solved the jigsaw puzzle and it was the puzzle from Pieces?
Well, what would happen was he'd open the box that was supposed to have a puzzle in it, and it would be empty, and he'd record a really long ranting YouTube video about how he didn't get his puzzle.
Here, Alan. Planters peanuts.
I think she's getting serious.
Look at this. Planters dry roast peanuts. Instead of chips. Are we in the executive dining room?
Planters dry roast peanuts are so crunchy, so full of delicious flavor. They make ordinary occasions special. I got a tie. Look what Mom sent me.
Planters peanuts? Mom always did like you best.
So Trumpy solves the puzzle with his mind. We have some nice stop motion animation here of the puzzle putting itself together, which I don't even know how they did. Man, I would fail if that was my job.
Movie magic.
Yeah, I believe him. It's all good. Tommy's blown away by this and is like, whoa, you have to teach me how to do that. And then he busts out his Simon game, which is not, hello, this is the Doomed Show's own Simon. This is a different Simon. But man, oh man, let me play this commercial for Simon, folks. I have seen circuit bent Simons where they give it an output jack and like do all this crazy shit to the soldering inside and rewire it to make crazy music. Wow. But nothing they did is as crazy as this song to promote the Simon game. So here it is.
What does it feel like to play Simon? You gotta look! Listen! Remember, you gotta react. Repeat the sounds and colors. Think fast. What does it feel like to play Simon?
Intense.
Simon from Milton Bradley, the challenge intensified to the max.
Trumpy, he basically rewires it and basically he does his own thing.
He drops a beat, yeah.
I said that he freestyles some sick electro jams. Holy shit, dude. It is off the hook. I freaking really love this moment. It is completely batshit crazy. Love it. So we cut to our pals, the RV funsters. If it wasn't for the death of Laura Stapleton, these would really be some good time Charlies.
Yeah.
And one of them says, wow, that's it. What a fuck up this back to nature crap is. Oh my God, I fucking love it, dude. I love it. Oh, so anyway, Bill and Brian, our friend here, they go off to report on Laura's death somewhere. Maybe they're going to Black Butte. And Tommy draws a very unflattering portrait of his mother, which triggers Trumpy because he's like, Trumpy, don't you have a mother? And he's like, then Trumpy's like pointing. He's like, oh, is your mother up a tree?
Is your mother a bear, Trumpy? Oh, she's in a tree. Wait, she's on a star? Oh, wow.
Fascinating. Oh my God. So we get Trumpy's glowing eyes. And is this the part where he looks through the telescope
and sees
and
Africa?
Sees all the animals? Yeah, I did not write that part down. So yes, Tommy does this magical Viewmaster shit, a la Trumpy, where he looks through his telescope and sees far off lands. That's very cute. It's the stock footage portion.
Trumpy with his kaleidoscope eyes then performs a flea circus for Tommy's enjoyment.
I wrote down that he Mary Poppins that shit. The whole room goes completely crazy. This insane, I put it in quotes, awful circus music starts playing, because it's not awful, it's friggin' great. And Trumpy's making his clothes fly out of the closet on their hangers. He's making his shoes dance. He's up on the ceiling. It's totally insane. The chairs are floating. Oh my God.
It's whimsy.
Mom comes in right because of course the whole thing with Tommy is he's constantly hiding Trumpy from his parents. It's like one of the biggest plot points of the movie, besides running around in the foggy forest, is this back and forth with Trumpy almost getting seen but never does. It's so stupid. But Mom warns Tommy not to make his bedroom into a zoo. I'm like, lady, you bought him fish. You bought him a hamster. You bought him birds.
Look through that telescope. You'll see a zoo.
That's a real zoo, you damn ass. So Bill explains guns to Brian, because Brian's like, if you're not a poacher, then how come you have a gun? He's like, in case of trouble. Oh, we're going to really see how Bill feels about guns later, which is one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie. He explains that Laura Stapleton would still be alive if she'd had a gun.
Yeah, she would have. She could have shotgun blasted, like her fall.
Yeah,
you know, like she shoots the ground and then she just bounces back up to the cliff. Yeah, that makes sense.
She's a good girl with a gun. Yep. There you go. Back at the house, another friggin' great moment. The girls are relieved that the TV works so that they don't miss an episode of Dallas like they did last week. Which they're like, oh, don't say that. Laura Stapleton died.
It's true. You fall 2 weeks behind on Dallas, you're never catching back up.
Dude, I'm lost. I'm totally lost. Meanwhile, Trumpy has been lost. Tommy can't find him. So, of course, Tommy asks the one person he can turn to, or should I say the one animal you can turn to. He asks the kitten. He wakes up. This is the cutest moment. He wakes up the kitten to ask it. And the kitten's like, man, with a little angry face. Oh, man, I'm the same way, dude. You shake me from my nap to ask me where somebody is. You're getting that face. What the fuck? We get Bill and Brian. Now they're up in the mountains. It's snowing. And I see the Massachusetts license plate, which I just gasped because I'm like, oh, my God. How close are they to the Boston with the pieces?
Oh,
boy. Tommy looks at Laura's corpse in the bedroom, and it's got the glowing red eyes and the constellation on her forehead. Bill and Brian get to the ranger station, and something is amiss. The whole place has been freaking destroyed, but all of the naked booby model girls are stapled to the wall in this children's film, so we're good to go. Matt, the beardo poacher and wannabe rapist, is dead. And meanwhile, all this time, the cold smile of Ronald Reagan, a portrait of Ronald Reagan, watches as the violence, as he callously grins at Brian getting killed by the alien, the non-Trumpy.
This is a movie about beginnings and endings. George Washington's and Ronald Reagan's.
Yep, man.
It's also a secret sequel to Bedtime for Bonzo. Trumpy is Bonzo.
Not only our greatest president, our greatest actor. greatest
Bonzo.
Oh my God. So Bill escapes barely. And I'm going to play this entire exchange. We cut back to Molly and Tracy. And Tracy is just the horniest. She is so desperate for a man. Like, she was like, oh, man, there's park rangers? I'll hook up with a park ranger. Oh, boy. She's just telling Molly all about what men really want. And I love this whole part. I'm playing the whole freaking thing right here. This is great stuff.
You're a good cook, Tracy. It's unusual with girls today.
Well, my mother taught me. She always said that men like you for your meat and after for your dessert. You know how it is. If you haven't got a pretty face to begin with, there's nothing you can do. Believe me, I've tried everything, including the 7-day beauty plan.
Come on, it's not that bad. You got a lot of good points.
Yeah, and I know the ones men like. These and this.
But you're very intelligent.
Yeah, I don't know what frightens the guys more, my face or my intelligence.
Meanwhile, Ricky says that Bill is as thick as 2 planks.
That's not particularly thick.
Well, they're thick planks, maybe.
Okay.
So Tracy, our just my favorite character in this movie, she goes out to the RV for some reason. I don't remember what she's going out there for. And I burst out laughing as she was headed towards the trailer. Every time, whether it's like American Horror Story, 1984, or Stranger Things, or anything, whenever people in 2020s want someone to look like someone in the 1980s, they dress them up exactly like Tracy. Tracy is so ahead of her time that people think that's what 80s people dress like. I love her outfit. It's like she's like a walking leg warmer or something, man. I love her. God bless this movie.
Body warmer.
And sadly, the non-Trumpy murders Tracy in the RV while Tommy watches. And Tommy, who's a racist, can't even tell that's not the real Trumpy. All of you look the same, blah, blah, blah. What an asshole. Bill comes back. He's freaked out by, barely escaping with his life. And Bill, he and Ricky start arguing about this shit. Like, is it some kind of animal? Is it David Crosby on a rampage? Okay, that's my joke. I slipped in there. Okay, there's a J&B sighting. This is my favorite thing. This is my favorite shit. And there's 3 bottles on Bill's huge liquor cabinet, which means this is 3 Giallo.
That liquor cabinet is insane. It's like a bookcase for booze.
It just keeps going on and on forever.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's almost as much alcohol as Leanne and I have.
Jealous.
Yeah, we got booze. But that was one of our pandemic shopping things. Is we started watching this mixologist guy named How to Drink. His name's Greg. And folks at home who, if you're a fan of the Hello, This is the Doom show from way back, my pal Nafa used to be on this show, but he passed away. This guy Greg reminds me so much of Nafa. It's hilarious. He looks like him a little bit and talks like him. So Greg, How to Drink. You need your Nafa fix, go watch that guy. It's uncanny at moments where I'm like, whoa, Nafa would even say that. That's crazy. Anyway, so we got a lot of booze in this house. Thank you, pandemic. My liver says, nah, dude. Ricky proves that he's a real man by showing Bill just how good he is at guns. They're arguing about guns. So Ricky starts pointing a gun at him. Just pointing at Bill with a gun and then shoots a liquor bottle. And it's the craziest freaking scene. I love this moment. It's nuts. Completely bonkers.
This manly stuff. I just sort of zone out. Give me Trumpy.
Yeah. Trumpy's maybe a man. I don't know.
Naughty Trumpy.
So meanwhile, Kathy and Sharon, who I completely forgot about. I wrote in my notes, I forgot about these two. They took some sleeping pills after Laura died to calm down and then just missed out on a big chunk of the movie while they were asleep. Tommy confronts Trumpy about Tracy's murder outside and totally blames him. Says, we can't be friends anymore. Blah, blah, blah.
Why'd you do it, Trumpy?
Meanwhile, the actual perpetrator, the other alien, is stalking around. And for some reason, on the side of the house is a huge Sprite sticker on one of the shutters. Someone just callously slapped a Sprite sticker. I have no idea why it's on there.
You didn't want to let that one go.
Tommy decides to help Trumpy out by disguising him. He puts him in his coat, and Trumpy in a coat is the weirdly cutest thing in the movie besides the kitten.
Yeah, it's like a big parka. He looks like, like Kenny from South Park.
Yeah. What is another thing it reminded me of? It reminded me of the, maybe less cute, but the little girls from the Brood. All the clone, the little hatchlings or whatever.
Sure.
Much like those, Trumpy is a manifestation of our rage. So collectively as a society. While Kathy's taking a shower, very tasteful. We do, because of the Blu-ray, we get a little sight of her pasty. She's like, I'm not getting nude for this shit. This evil alien attacks her and kills her. So Bill injures the alien, but he wants to go and finish the job. So while they're chasing the evil alien outside, Trumpy just wanders in and spoils everything, and Molly wants to kill it immediately. But I wrote in my notes, Tommy won't let Molly kill Trumpy because Trumpy.
Because Trumpy wants to be our friend, but we won't let him.
We're not ready.
Trumpy is good.
So outside, Tommy is approached by the mean alien, but Trumpy intervenes, and I'm not like the others.
He also starts stroking Trumpy's mom's chest. It's weird.
Dude on a stick. Oh, is it supposed to be Trumpy's mom?
I think, well, I don't know. They're eggs.
I don't even know.
We don't know whose mom is whose.
Man, get Luigi Cozy in here to figure it out. He could explain it. So finally, Bill gets killed by a punch in the stomach from the alien. And I wrote in my notes that he must have had a pre-existing condition. untreated ulcer that got exploded. Yeah.
He had a centipede in his stomach.
So the mean alien, I'm very confused. My note taking was just done at this point. Does the alien get killed by Ricky?
Yeah.
And then does it bury itself in the sand?
That I don't know, but sure.
I saw it. They did a really cool sand effect that looked like like the sand was moving by itself or something.
That sounds right. I mean, we're back in the fog now, the blue fog for miles and miles. So things get a little vague here.
Tommy says goodbye to Trumpy. I hate you. Go away. I wrote that's pretty harsh. And as I predicted, as Leah and I were watching this, both for the first time, Trumpy awkwardly leaves.
He waddles back into the forest.
Boom, credits roll. Holy shit. I was like, dude, I called it. And I was like, man, that was great. And Leah is just sitting there shell shocked on her pain meds. Like, I don't know what the fuck just happened. Like, I can't imagine watching this under the influence of anything. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's not much of a movie here, huh?
Oh my God, no. And not even like leaving, not even like just showing anything of like, there was nothing to show.
The Trumpy is out there.
So there's not a lot of trivia about this thing. There's a lot of goofs. But yeah, so according to the trivia, Tommy's bedroom was previously used as Timmy's bedroom in pieces. This was going to be a low budget horror movie about an evil alien, but E.T. 1982 was too much money. Had to do it. I like the trivia from E.T. that not enough people talk about, that E.T. is Carlo Rambaldi.
Oh, yeah.
E.T. is just a little sculpture of the special effects guy who made him, Carlo Rambaldi. Yeah, I freaking love that.
That's adorable.
Oh, boy. Also, folks, I don't remember who made it, but if you can find, there's a great video about what they had in mind for the real sequel to E.T. There's a very real sequel to the actual film E.T. from 1982 that they were planning on making, and the script was completely crazy. Elliot and family get kidnapped by evil aliens who are looking for our buddy E.T. and are torturing Elliot. And Elliot's cries of pain are what brings E.T. back to Earth to defeat these aliens. This is real. This is a real thing they were going to do. It never happened because it was too weird. And I think Spielberg didn't want to do the sequel, so he wrote something completely freaking unfilmable. So yeah, but this was marketed as E.T. the Second Coming. In the Film Ventures version, which is the people who distributed Pod People.
Yes.
It has the whole opening sequence, the opening credits feature scenes from the Galaxy Invader, which I have not seen, but it's from Don Dohler.
Oh,
so.
you bet. So, like, I knew that because I've seen the Pod People version is the one that's used on MST3K. And it's so weird to see the Don Dohler footage beginning this movie. But then watching this movie on its own, I'd kind of like forgotten that they used Galaxy Invader. And like when I was watching this and taking the notes, I was like, this feels like a Don Dohler movie. Why does this look like a Don Dohler movie whenever they're in the forest? And I was like, oh yeah, like Film Ventures International had that same thought and so stole footage from Galaxy Invader.
Folks, if you want to watch another alien goes berserk, watch Night Beasts from Don Dohler.
Yeah, Night Beast
Holy
is great.
Shit.
Have you ever seen
Night Beast?
Fiend?
No, that I have a magazine, a horror movie magazine. I cannot remember the name of it. This is a weird, boring short story. I'll keep it short. We were at, I believe it was at Universal Studios, and they had like a little movie memorabilia shop, and they had a pile of film magazines, and randomly they had this one horror movie magazine. It wasn't one of the big ones. It wasn't Fangoria, it wasn't Gore Zone, it wasn't any of those. I never heard of this one before. But on the cover is Fiend with the that gnarly looking makeup.
Yeah.
And it was probably the cheapest thing at Universal Studios, this magazine. I picked it up for like $10 or $12. But yeah, it's really cool. See, long story short, too late. I've never seen that movie.
It's great. I love Don Dohler. I'm a big fan. I also recently picked up Mystic Vault, put out the original scores from the Alien Factor and Fiend on vinyl.
Ooh,
I did pick
nice.
those up recently. But yeah, Don Dohler rules. And I guess just by kind of looking like a Don Dohler movie, this movie rules too.
Nice. But yeah, like I was saying before at the top of this episode, frickin' 23 cast and crew in common with Pieces, which I'm saving Pieces. Sam, my buddy Sam, who's the drummer in Gyrojets, we're saving that because he and I watched Pieces together. He had never seen it, and it blew his mind. It tore his brain out and just destroyed him. And we wrote a song called Pieces, and he contributed a lot to the lyrics. Like, it's like one of the first songs where Sam really just like wrote. I had like pages and pages of notes of what I wanted the song to be about, and he's like, "Let me take a crack at this," and basically wrote the whole thing. And it's so fun, and we recorded it in one evening. I had 3 guitar parts to show him. I showed them to him. We played them a few times, hit record, and then we had a song. And then we did the vocals the same night too. It was just boom, boom, boom out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. The only thing we didn't do was the bass. We did the bass much later. Like a year later, our pal played bass on that song.
So you mean to tell me it came together in pieces?
It's literally in pieces. The song has chapter stops so that it covers up the fact that we had no idea how to connect the pieces of pieces.
So I'll tell you my favorite crew member from Extraterrestrial Visitors. The closing credits say that material was provided by Mole Richardson.
What is that?
Mole Richardson. I don't know.
What
it's a guy, I guess. That? I just tried to IMDb him, and there is somebody named Mole Richardson, but it does not list this movie.
See, do they still have the crazy credits thing on IMDb, or they get rid of the crazy credits thing? Because that sounds like a crazy credit to me.
IMDb's broken. Who knows?
Yeah, they need to stop messing with it. Just leave it.
Yeah.
Just leave it. Do you have this on tape? Do you have Pod People?
I don't have. Well, I do have the MST3K version on tape.
Okay.
I do not have the OG.
I wonder how rare even the British tape is.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, Juan Piquer Simón, he's incredible. I really wanted to watch that documentary on him that comes with the Severin disc. I love the Severin release so much, but it is an hour and 46 minutes. I'm like, oh, that's another night. That's as bad as I am about watching the extras before we do an episode of the show.
Yeah,
that was too much for me. I did watch the interview with the actor who plays Brian. I don't know. The guy was probably in pieces. I don't know. He calls this film a masterpiece. I'm like, boom, nailed it.
Accurate. Yeah, I need to check out the rest of Juan's films because all the ones I've seen have been, well, I guess except for The Rift, all of them have been great.
I will. I absolutely. Well, I love. I'd heard how bad Cthulhu Mansion was, and then somebody else was like, hey, why did everyone say this was bad? And he just had screenshots from it. And I said, holy shit, I need to see this. And I got it, and I have no regrets. I recommend that one.
Pretty good, yeah.
I mean, it looks like nothing compared to whatever Nexus 2.431 is. That looks even better. Oh, that's written by Juan Piquer. So. But it looks fantastic. So, Jeffrey, how do you like this one?
So I would say this is probably maybe like one of the least movies that we've ever talked about.
Okay.
It's like barely there, but like, you know, if you know my taste by now, that is not a demerit. No, this is a good sleepy time movie, where you just sort of are lying on the couch and your eyes are barely slits and the fog just pours in. And then you open, like something captures your attention, like a fucking pig bear who's snorting peanuts, and your eyes go really big and they start sparkling like stars. That's how I feel about this movie. It's a really good movie. I think everybody should watch it. And then you should watch the MST3K version right after or before. Maybe before, watch it before. Yeah, get like your laughs out first, and then go to sleep with with Pod People, the original. One last comment is that Severin Films did recently put this out on Blu-ray. It looks okay. I mean, it looks a lot better than previous versions. It still is like impossible to watch. When they released it, at the same time, they released it in a bundle with a plush Trumpy.
Oh, no.
And I did not see that until it was already sold out. And I'm very sad about it. So somebody needs to mail me one. That's all I'll say.
Did you get the plush George Eastman?
No.
Oh, man.
Yeah, they did the plush George Eastman from Anthropophagus, and they also did a plush Sinful Dwarf, I think.
I want to say Scott, Eurocult Scott got that. Maybe he didn't. I hope he did.
I want to know. I want to meet the person who has all three, because I'll be friends with them.
Yeah, that playtime at their house is very interesting.
So how do you like this one?
I really enjoyed it. It's right on the border of something I love. I have a feeling I'll enjoy it more a second viewing, especially not furiously taking 4 pages of notes. It wasn't as crazy as I thought it was going to be. It has moments that my jaw dropped, but then it also just has Trumpy hiding, Trumpy almost getting caught, Trumpy hiding, and then Forest, the foggy forest, and the foggy forest. I cannot wait to sit down and watch the MST3K. I cannot freaking wait. That's gonna be so much fun.
There's a lot of material there to have fun with.
Yeah, I think in context, this movie's so much better than it actually. I mean, it's like 86 minutes, and it can be a bit of a chore, I think. But the context is what makes it. Because like, who was this for? And then there's no trailer. Like, you and I were joking before we started recording about why they didn't have a trailer for it. It's because if you showed any of this, no one's gonna freaking go see it because it's so out there. But but you could cut it to make it scarier. You can't cut it to make it look like a fun children's film. I don't think you can without revealing how fucking dumb it is.
I think they had it and they were just like, you know what? We can sell this as a VHS box.
Yeah.
And that's going to be good enough.
That's what happened. I said to you, the film Amblin Entertainment doesn't want you to see. Because, like the film, one of the Jaws ripoffs that got stopped from being released over here, that kind of shit. How do they even call it Extraterrestrial Visitors and even have a limited run? Nobody must have heard this was happening. Great stuff. Great stuff. Well, folks, thank you for hanging out. It is so good to snort some peanuts with y'all.
And hear your engines roar.
Yep, hear your engines roll.
Roll?
Yeah, it's roll. When the engines roll, which makes even less sense.
Well, so in MST3K, they mishear the lyrics as idiot control. Idiot control now. Idiot control.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's like the Side Hackers song. They have a great song in the Side Hackers episode too that's better than the whole movie. But man, I'm telling you, that Side Hackers that just stays with me. All the jokes from that episode are always with me. Like, why can't I get near you? There's a ladder in the way. I feel like there's just a barrier between us. There's a ladder in the way. You got tires? Why didn't you say you got tires? We love tires. Yeah, I could go on. Yep. I've watched that episode dozens of times.
Well, get ready for a new one to enter your pantheon.
Oh, man. And enter my pants, Theon. I don't know. Bye. Stop recording. Folks, thanks so much for listening to this episode. If you'd like to write into the show, send an email to doomedmoviethon@gmail.com or hit us up at doomedmoviethon on Instagram or at doomedmoviethon on Twitter or at doomedmoviethon at Discord, or go to Hello This Is the Doom Show on Facebook and message us there. If you want more Hello This Is the Doom Show, go to doomedmoviethon.com and click the podcast button for the archive, or go to YouTube and look up Doomed Moviethon and you'll find the classic episodes of Hello, This Is the Doomed Show. And if that's still not enough, I have written some books, about my love of movies over on Amazon.com. Just look up Richard Glenn Schmidt and you'll find Giallo Meltdown, a Moviethon Diary, Giallo Meltdown 2, Cinema Somnambulist, or Doomed Moviethon, the book. Hello, This is the Doom Show is a proud member of the Legion Podcast Network. Go to legionpodcast.com and check out the other great shows over there.